So guys, I told you that if you put up a topic for us to discuss, I would do my best to get the lesson on that particular topic so we could see how, in a Christ-like way, to help us understand and move forward, or maybe relinquish whatever it may be that's holding you back. I want to take this month, at least, to see if I can answer these questions in any way that may help. Tonight, I want to look at the question, how can I be able to have a heart of true forgiveness? When I first saw this question, my first thought was, oh yeah, let's see if they have anything else I can work on. But that thought is what made me decide that I have to talk about this topic. Instead of erasing it and hoping that the person who wrote it forgets or will forgive me for, and that it got me to processing that forgiveness is not just being given for a mistake, but the willingness to say, I'm sorry, and actually forgive someone who wronged you. As I sat and tried to think of a good analogy, I reached back into the archives of music, movies, and my life to see if there was a good way to talk about forgiveness that didn't sound all judgy and stuff, or like a doctorate of theology type of answer. Like, I could give that anyway, but I think you get what I'm getting at. I was sitting in my office listening to music when I took a look down at my knees. Hold on now. This isn't weird, y'all. I looked at my knees and I saw the scars from my knee replacements. As I looked at them, I thought to myself how forgiveness is a lot like scars. Now, hear me out. If you look at my knees, you probably have a hard time seeing the scars. But I want you to know that I'm not going to show you this. I have another scar, and it's on my back. And that one is huge, and it's ugly. And you would notice it right away. So, why the difference? You see, with my back, I had a major surgery because I had herniated 3 vertebrae and was given this apparatus put into my back to basically act like my spine. But the apparatus in my back failed, and I had another surgery to take it out. I then had complication with the nerves in my back, which I ended up having 3 more major back surgeries and countless procedures. Each surgery, I turned to my strength, and I tried working out more than what I was told, thinking I was doing what was right, because I could not do any type of physical therapy right away. I pushed myself, and I kept failing. And after each one of these surgeries and procedures, the doctors were actually cutting back into the same scar over and over and over again. After my last surgery, the doctor actually said that he didn't think my back could handle one more surgery, as he did not think there would be enough skin to sew it back together. I see this type of scar as the one that goes unforgiven, especially when the thing that has been done is on the bigger scale. Without forgiveness, the wound keeps getting opened again and again and again. And after too long, the scar is really unrepairable. My knees were different. The pain of my knees failing was extreme. But once the surgeries were done, healing came right away. The physical therapy, although painful, got me back to full functioning. way better than I was before the surgeries. I even went from being extremely bow-legged to walking almost an inch taller after my surgeries. This is like the forgiveness that is given or accepted. Once truly given or accepted, the healing begins. The pain of the offense, even though it hurts, is alleviated. And then you are able to move on and correct your walk with that person. Proverbs 17:9 says, "Whoever would foster love covers an offense, but whoever repeats the matter separates close friends." When I hear that, I hear forgiving is an actual form of love. There is a great scene in a movie called The Replacements, where the quarterback, Shane Falco, played by Keanu Reeves, is in the game to get them to the championship. Falco had missed the first half of the game for some selfish reasons, but came back for the second half when he heard his coach answer this question. What do you think it's going to take to get you back into this game? His answer? Heart. Miles and miles of heart. This was a direct call to Falco to come back. He was asking for forgiveness. But when Falco comes back, the team was not as obliging. But when the team sees Falco's true heart, they forgive him for deserting them in the first half. And then the team starts to make this great comeback. Our scene happens as the team gets into the huddle late in the game. Falco crouches down and takes off his helmet and says this, "I know you're tired. I know you're hurting. And I wish I could say something classy and inspirational, but that's just wouldn't be our style. Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. And glory lasts forever." Then Falco and the rest of the team go out against all odds, and they end up winning the game. And I know this sounds funny, and maybe a stretch, but I think this moment is an accumulation of how things go after you ask for forgiveness or you give it. Forgiveness is a salve for the soul. When applied, it lessens the pain. We move forward in our relationships. And I think we all dig that. And if true forgiveness is achieved, giving and receiving, the glory truly does last forever. I see Colossians 3:13 in this. "Bear with each other and forgive one another. If any of you has a grievance against someone, forgive as the Lord forgave you." We all understand that God forgave everyone. But then why is it so hard for us to let go if we have been hurt, and so hard to ask for forgiveness when we hurt someone else? But why is it so hard? I mean, even Elton John has a song called "Sorry Seems to Be the Hardest Word." And if you don't think sorry is hard to say, especially when you are the offender, have you ever seen or been asked to say sorry to someone when you were younger? The anxiety, fear, and embarrassment usually cause the child or you to have a meltdown, to hide, or to go silent. In the song, Elton John starts it off with two great questions. What do I gotta do to make you love me? And what do I gotta do to make you care? I think when we look at these questions, we can see truth when we honestly answer them. Without any forgiveness, especially for the offended, the trust that the offense itself won't happen again is gone. Without the apology. The trust itself is gone to fully love. You have to have full trust if you want to fully love someone. And how do I see someone truly cares for me? When that person is likely to hurt me again. True forgiveness is freeing for both sides of the forgiveness process. The hurt and the hurter. But even if one of the sides refuses to let go and forgive, there is still a weight lifted off the person who is willing to let it go. And even if the other party will not forgive, you are free of the feeling of anger that were there before you forgave. Now, I know I can hear the brains, the cogs and the wheels of the brain turning, and you're thinking, Pastor John, but the person that hurt me, even though I have forgiven them, they keep stabbing me in the back. Am I to keep forgiving them? And to answer that, I want to take you to the Bible in Matthew 18:21 through 22, when Peter has one of those great questions for Jesus. Then Peter came to Jesus and asked, Lord, how many times shall I forgive my brother or sister who sins against me? Up to 7 times? Jesus answered, I tell you, not 7 times, but 77 times. Now, when we hear this, do we stop forgiving at number 78? No. That is not the point that Jesus is making here. We have come to understand the number 7 in the Bible represents completeness. What Jesus is saying, you really never stop forgiving others, period. You keep forgiving till forgiveness is complete. Pastor John, you just don't understand. This person is a royal butthead and they really hurt me bad. I can't forgive them. Been there? Well, in Ephesians 4:31 through 32, it says this. Get rid of all bitterness, rage, and anger, brawling and slander, along with every form of malice. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you. But, Pastor John, that's God. It's easy for him to forgive. I mean, he is God. Dude, I get it. It's hard. But we are called to live like Christ, to trust his ways, and to love his people. Again, I say, how can you truly do that if you have an unwillingness to forgive them? Self-included. Forgiveness, like I said, is a giving and receiving action. And we must be willing to look both ways in crossing our forgiveness road. And true forgiveness is much more than words. You have to put the verb into it, into true forgiveness. The actions for those who don't remember what a verb is since you are on summer break. Are you willing to fully, 1, ask for forgiveness when you mess up or hurt others? I'll give you a chance to write that. Ask for forgiveness. Are you willing to fully to forgive others who hurt you, apology or not? Are you willing to fully forgive yourself? Let go and move on from self-guilt. And 4, are you willing to fully ask God for help to forgive and for forgiveness for yourself? Give you a chance to get all that. I just didn't realize you was having homework today. I pray that the questions asked by you was maybe not fully answered, but maybe some things suggested can help, especially the words God gave us on true forgiveness. Before we go, I want to use the word scars as an anagram to use as a step-by-step way to help you try and help to forgive a bit easier. Our first S stands for sin. Or, in other words, the mess up that has us in the forgiving place, giving or receiving. The C represents confession. Are you willing to fess up to your offense or even tell the offender how they hurt you? A will stand for absolution, which is just a fancy word for forgiving. Are you willing to take this step to clean the mess you caused or you feel? The R will be for restoration. This is not just to fix the situation, but it is to make it better, to rise up higher than before. And our final S stands for sanctification, which is a form of stepping up to continually work on not just being better, but to build up the relationship you may thought lost better. Forgiveness, like every aspect of our faith, takes work. It takes practice. But it also needs application. You must be willing to let go of the pain and move to a place where you can let go of whatever offense that happened. Love your neighbor no matter what. If you can achieve this type of true forgiveness, then His glory is forever. And if you can use our little anagram example, I think you will find yourself loved because God digs our scars.